I was very young, very green, and very inexperienced at that time, and I knew and felt that I understood Eliza, but I needed to be guided. And a wonderful gentleman who was our director originally, Moss Hart, who I think I must be channeling, I hope I am, while I'm here, was very considerate and very kind to a raw young girl. And he really guided me and helped me create Eliza Doolittle. I eventually played Eliza Doolittle for just about 3.5 years, 8 performances a week. I did 2 years on Broadway and 18 months in London. So I think I got to know it rather well. I was asked to audition for Rodgers. Hammerstein at that point was not there. And I know that he was out in the dark theater somewhere listening to me sing. And again, it was before My Fair Lady. And I belted out my best song with all the trills and things. And he came up on stage after I'd finished the audition. And he said, "That was absolutely adequate," he said. And I said, "Oh, thank you." He said, "No, I'm teasing you." And he then asked, had I been auditioning or been asked to do anything by anyone else? And this is an absolutely true story. This wonderful, huge man of the theater asked me the question, and I said, "Oh, yes, I've been singing for 2 gentlemen, Mr. Lerner and Mr. Loewe, and I think they are hoping to do a wonderful production of George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion." And he looked at me and he said, "I'm going to tell you something." He said, "If they ask you to do it, I think you should take it. If they don't, I'd like you to let me know, because we'd also love to use you." And I think that's the most wonderfully generous piece of advice. Of course, I took My Fair Lady, and the rest is, well, you all know about.
History, yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of wonderful talent this last 3 or 4 days. And I think I'd say a lot of things, but I know also how to help a little bit. I know what helped me, and I'm thrilled to be able to pass some of that on. And it is things like, think about your lyrics, stick to your words, think the role through. George Bernard Shaw actually wrote, believe it or not, the most musical play. It has highs and lows. If you think about it, and if any of you come to see it, you'll know that it's that, you know, "Eliza, you will do so and so and so and so, ow!" And it's up, down, rolling, gorgeous sounds all over the place. And I think I would help whatever Eliza we do choose to find all of that and more. And of course, I've heard some wonderful voices, so I think we're going to get it.
I think spending a week in the audition room with Julie has been extraordinary, because she's treated everybody so beautifully, and it's been like a masterclass for each performer that comes up. And every now and then we get a little gem from Julie that we haven't heard before, and it's like it's absolutely electric. But for the performers coming up to audition, they are going away, regardless if they get the role or not, with a wealth of information to pursue for the rest of their career. And it's been just, I've got to say, for me, it's been fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because it was so glorious. And I don't know how many times that original gem has been shown. We are using Oliver Smith's beautiful sets. The Opera House can certainly accommodate it, and John David Ridge is recreating the beautiful Cecil Beaton designs, and they made the audience gasp. And there's nothing wrong with doing that again, in the sense of, remember, generations of young people who are coming into the theater to see it for the first time have not experienced My Fair Lady and the wonder of it. So why not go for something that was so iconic, but give it to them in spades if possible. Each one has its own quality, but Mary Poppins was uptight and austere, and Sound of Music lady was radiant and floating about the mountains and things like that. And this Eliza comes from, Shaw describes Eliza as being so poor that she didn't even have a nightgown. She went to bed in her underwear and covered herself up with her day clothes to keep warmer if possible. And she was desperately poor, but she was bright, and she had ambition and guts, and eventually transcended for herself as well.
What would you say is your favourite song or line from the play that you're looking most forward to seeing recreated?
Oh my! There are so many iconic lines. Things like, I'm a good girl, I am, or I washed my face in hands before I come, I did. And they're all, and oh, you are a brute, she says to Higgins. And when she transcends, she very honestly says, what's to become of me? Because you've made a lady out of me, and now I can't sell myself in any way. I've got to be, I can't be anything else but what you made me. Now what happens to me? And it's huge in the second half to go from there.